Hello, Michael Tozoni here. Welcome to CryptoCoach365. I'm reporting from the beautiful Sebastian, Florida. Tiny little town, but right on the water, so lots of really nice restaurants. Seafood, obviously. Right up against the water, you can even look over to the side and watch the fish come by and feed the fish with your restaurant bread, as long as the waiters don't notice. So, bit of a situation in the way here. We were supposed to fly out yesterday. Plane was supposed to take off at 10:30. Then it got delayed till midnight. Then it got delayed to 12:50 a.m. and then it got canceled. And everybody for that plane ended up being moved to a 10:30 in the morning flight. So after spending a few hours at the airport, we ended up going back to my business partner's house. Spent the night, got up at like 7:30 in the morning to get to the airport on time. Got on a plane in time for the 10:30 flight. Plane got delayed again, this time only for about 30 minutes, but the reason this time was because they got a very big plane to fit a lot of people. Only half of it was actually filled out, and they had way too much fuel on board, so it took them about 30 minutes to drain all that extra fuel. Got here we got to Orlando. It was a 2-hour drive to Sebastian, where the airport's at. And by the time we got here, unfortunately, the factory was already closing up shop. So we only got to talk a little bit about what's going on with my plane, what plans are, and look at another plane that was actually there for some ideas that I may be implementing in mine as well. So unfortunately, delay by that airline ended up costing me a day's worth of work. Excuse me. But we still have, I guess, 3.5 hours of work. I'm apparently Florida bugs. Out here feeding mosquitoes again, but I forgot about the giant Florida bugs. One just kind of landed on my shoulder. Anyway, still good. I'm glad to be down here finally. Florida is definitely a really nice place to be at. I don't know about living here. People who live here tell me it sucks, but I would probably enjoy this because I definitely love the warm weather. Kind of a short one today because, as I said, mostly was travel. But I don't know if you noticed, or if you don't care, it's fine, but you may have noticed that I don't really talk about, like I mentioned my spouse. I don't really talk about anything with regards to that. And my business partner, I asked, he does not feel confident enough to actually start participating in any of these things too, which is understandable. He's not a public person. He has I only asked him whether he wanted to do the whole business thing with me last year. Sorry, I'm being distracted by bugs. Only asked him whether he wants to try doing a whole business and success and entrepreneurship thing a year ago. So he's still, I guess, practicing with that. But anyway, I want to respect his privacy. With my spouse, it's the same deal. I want to make sure that I have my own privacy too. So I'll be happy to share most of my life with you, but obviously I'll have to hold some things back for my personal protection and to respect other people's privacy. Eventually, I'm sure my business partner and best friend is going to end up in the video, but for now I'm going to try to keep him off until he says he's ready. So anyway, had a nice dinner, obviously seafood. Happy to be here. This place is actually pretty good too. We're staying at a place called Davis Inn. It was one of the cheaper places here, but cheaper was $120 a night, so not too cheap. And I think the other place that I usually stay in, the Holiday Inn or Hyatt or something, probably Holiday, not Hyatt, was all booked up. But this is a nice place. If you need to come to Florida and stay in Sebastian for whatever reason, Davis Inn is very good. In part because it's not just like a standard hotel room that you see everywhere you go, like cookie cutter hotel rooms. You're walking through a hallway, turn to your left, it's going to be a bathroom. Walk a little bit down, in front of you is going to be a window, and to the side will be a king size bed or two double beds, and then on the other side is going to be your TV. Excuse me. So that, like the cookie cutter hotel rooms that you see everywhere. Here, however, you actually get a little, I would almost call it like a suite size timeshare apartment. So you have king size bed or a double bed. You have a kitchenette, like, well, a full kitchen actually. Well, I guess kitchenette. You have the dishes, silverware, microwave, stove, and fridge, all that kind of stuff like you would get with a kitchen. So for that amount of money, it's definitely a good deal. Also, there's a Walmart, like mosquito. Walmart about 5 minutes up the road. So if you want to save on eating out, there you go. Go get some groceries at Walmart. You can cook here. And that's really how, when we used to travel with my family, that's what we used to do all the time too. Instead of eating out, that's why we like timeshares a lot, was because we can save a lot of money by buying groceries and cooking at home. But anyway, yeah, good place. Really looking forward to tomorrow. Not a lot of progress on my plane since last I was here, unfortunately, because they were busy fixing another plane. Actually, incidentally, that other plane was before I decided to have a custom one built for myself. I was looking for used ones, and one of the best used ones was I forgot the name, but it was like red something, like some fancy red fighter type of, like fighter jet kind of a name, or a racing car kind of a name. And that was a retractable gear, red and white, with black interior, velocity, all decked out, looked really nice. And that was one of the things I was actually considering to buy, until I came to the Velocity factory and talked to them, and they convinced me that I really should build one from scratch, because I will know exactly what is exactly what everything is and where it is, and that it's not going to be badly put together, because if it's a kit plane, you don't know if it was put together by a professional or an amateur, so you don't really know what you're getting. But the funny thing is, last time we were here, they were fixing a Velocity from somebody who landed gear up, so they forgot to extend their gear, and then when they landed, they flopped on their belly. The guy realized that he landed was out of his gear, so right away he pulled back up reflexively pulled back on a stick. Since the plane still had some speed, it actually lifted up, but by then the propeller was already sheared off, and he just ended up flying a little bit and slamming into the ground even harder. Totally broke the nose, the engine, the underside. Turns out, and that's the same plane that we're working on mostly to fix instead of mine. Turns out that was actually the plane that I was thinking of buying and decided not to buy. So apparently that other guy ended up buying it, and then without any practice went to fly it and landed it with the gear down and totally messed it up. So kind of a small world. But anyway, yeah, I'm definitely gonna make sure to take some pictures and videos of the plane when I see it again tomorrow, and keep you guys updated, as we are going to be working on this thing until Friday afternoon. So anyway, till then, yeah, if you see me moving around, I keep getting mosquitoes all over me, so I'm gonna downside to Florida, so I'm gonna head back in. Anyway, see you guys. Good night.